What's up, guys? Where they've changed this? All right, there we go. Now I see who's in here. What's up, Nick? How you doing, brother? So, at some point, I feel like I really need to get a nicer overall camera setup here. So, anyway, guys, first time in forever on a live stream. We'll see how it goes. Depending on how many people show up, depends on how long we will do the live stream. But good to get one back in here. I've been super busy with school mainly. School and work have been keeping me off, so I had to kind of prioritize those while YouTube took a little bit of a back burner. But we are back. We're going to talk about whatever you guys really want to. So I figure there'll probably be a lot of 6-liter questions. Those of you guys that follow me on Instagram will have seen we sold the 6.7. I am going to do a whole video on that very soon about the 6.7 that we just sold, why we sold it, and what is next. Currently, we do have a 7.3 on the channel. I'm borrowing my old man's 7.3 for a little bit, so we'll probably do a few small things to that. I have a Grille to put on it, actually, and probably some light, like tail light upgrades on that, because he still has the original 01s on his 7.3. So how's everyone doing? Everybody, don't have a ton of people in here, but we got 3 people in. So here's some questions. How's everyone doing? Who's all in hanging out in our live stream? I know sometimes it takes you guys a little bit to start asking questions. Nick, no, it's not the Raptor style grill, although the Raptor grill on the white truck, because it's been parked in pretty much the same location forever, the grill faded. Like, the sun hit down on the chrome bumper and like shined up on the plastic so long that it actually faded. So when we get that back, that grill's going to come off. We're going to pop the LEDs out of it. We're going to paint that gloss black. Should be a pretty cheap thing to do. We'll clear coat it. We'll get a 2-part clear, so it's nice after we get that painted. But yeah, so we're going to have to paint that up. Excuse me. No, so actually it is the original grill from the white truck. Is going to go on my dad's 7.3. So we're going to take the billet piece out. We're going to refinish that so it's got a nice like polished finish to it. I'll probably grab a little bit of clear, just some cheap stuff from Advanced Auto to kind of help that finish last a little bit so it's not too bad. But that'll go on the 7.3. And again, like I said, we have that on the channel for a little bit. I am going to reach out to Blessed Performance. He doesn't personally tune 7.3s, but he does sell the module for 7.3. So we're going to actually get that probably on my dad's truck. He's running bigger injectors for that. And that should be pretty insignificant cost-wise to me. So that wouldn't be bad. And get some reviews for that out there. 7.3 is still a good engine. I don't like it as much as I like the 6-liter. I don't like it as much as I like 6.7s. But I think you do kind of get into the debate of pre-emission stuff, which is super nice to not even think about it, versus emissions heavy stuff. Honestly, me personally, I'm sure I can get some flack for this. An EGR cooler doesn't really deter me as from being super upset about emissions on these trucks. What deters me, what really upsets me, is these DPF systems, because they suck. So I'm sure a few people will have comments on that. But let's hear the 01 250. Again, that's my dad's 7.3. Really just has 180 stock nozzled injectors in it. I'm still around, gents. Just been dealing with a lot of life-changing moments and future ones due to Uncle Sam. Keep at it. Jay, thank you for checking in, brother. Guys, I am sorry it's been so long since I've done a live stream. I know you guys love them. I love doing them. I am just really sorry. Just really, for like 2 months, I worked 56 to 64-hour work weeks. And then I had school on top of it. There was only one class, plus attempting to take half decent care of myself in the gym. So I was definitely very busy. So I am sorry for everything. Guys, shameless merch plug. Are you guys seeing the merch shelf under this video? Those of you guys on your phone or on your computer, tablet, whatever, there should be the merch shelf below that has a link to Teespring that has all of our merch on there. So that stuff should be there. If you guys can let me know if you're able to see that or not. That took forever to get up and running. I got access to that at 10,000 subscribers, and then it took like another 2 to 3 months, I think, until it finally like fully integrated into YouTube. So awesome. Good. But anyway, so yeah, I am sorry, guys, how long it has taken me to do this, but I am excited to be back. I'm excited for, two things. I'm doing it on Mother's Day. Probably not like the greatest time to do a live stream. And I'm also, I haven't done them for so long. People kind of probably forget a little bit. So as people come back around, getting back to emissions versus non-emission stuff. So yeah, the 7.3 is a great engine, but even with, I've had an 07 6.0 for about 6 years, basically stock. I will eventually be getting all the engine work done. Should I go Edge or SCT? That is a super easy question, and that is SCT. And I actually think I can get affiliate links for that back. There for a while, the Ford SCT was out of stock, and I couldn't get one for it, but I believe it's the 7015 is the Ford one. And yeah, it's back. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, no, that's a super easy question. You definitely want to go with the SCT. It's going to allow you custom tunes. Now, I will say this. I do really like, I'm going to put an affiliate link down here. I do really like Edge monitors. So I run the Edge Insight series to monitor my trucks. I really like it. It's a nice clean install, and it gives you so much features. You can add extra sensors like on a 6-liter. If you want to add fuel pressure or an actual boost gauge, because once you start tuning it, tuners tend to mess with that. The tuner tends to kind of spoof that reading. So you might see 22 PSI, but really you're making 27 or 30. So just be aware of that. That's one of the nice things you can do with the Edge monitoring series. That's true. You never are going to get the money you spend on an engine mod back out of it. It just, you're not going to see that money. Like, I know I had people ask when all the work was done to my 6.0 at first, before the transmission was done, someone said, what do you think you could get for it? And I'm like, honestly, I think I decreased the value by doing all these mods. Currently working on a 05 6-liter Excursion. Oh, that's cool. Which has helped me with motor mods I'm working on. Awesome. What Wesley, what all are you doing to your Excursion? I would love to get my hands on an Excursion at some point. I think they're super cool. I hate that Ford doesn't make them anymore. Jay, it is definitely fun to do the engine mods and go take it out and have fun with it. But yeah, don't ever think you're getting that money back, because you're not. The only time, and it's such an insignificant amount of people looking for it, is if you literally modify your engine the exact way somebody wants to purchase it. And that's hard to find. A lot of people love a lot of the things that were done to my truck, but should I just use the SCT tunes? Pickle, you can use the SCT tunes. The CAN tunes are okay. My recommendation would be to get custom tunes, though. Even now, just a toe tune, just a light toe tune, would be a great addition. It's not super hard on anything. It's not like anytime you're increasing power output, yeah, you're going to cause, at least if you're doing it via increased boost or increased fuel, you're going to increase wear. If it's a mechanical advantage, then you're not really going to increase the wear of the engine. But that's kind of, I mean, you can get a little bit out of a cam, but you're not going to get like a ton. But yeah. So anyway, that's kind of going off track, but you're going to increase somewhere, but a nice toe tune isn't going to do anything. We are sponsored by Blessed Performance. I'll drop his affiliate code he gives us for 10% off custom tunes from him. I do recommend him. Other guys I'm not affiliated with that get great reviews. Warren Diesel. I don't think Gearhead tunes anymore. I'm not 100% sure what all happened with that, but I'm pretty certain they're out of the game. So there's Warren, there's Truck Source Diesel are two of my favorites. Innovative Diesel still tunes. I'm not a huge fan of their transmission shifting for daily driving. I love it at the track. I'm not a big fan of it for like street use and daily driving because it wants to hold the gear a little too hard, that kind of that kind of gets frustrating because what happens is you get under your turbo a lot. Now, I make that problem worse because I'm running a 66 millimeter turbo. I'm running 35 by 12.5 tires, which all that final gear ratio makes it a little worse. So bear that in mind if you choose innovative. But Truck Source Diesel, great daily tunes, blessed performance. One of my subscribers did have issues with transmission tuning. It did something with the transmission. Weren't able to get into it. The conversation super long. Hopefully he maybe stops into the live stream later and talks about that. But other than that, I don't even know how many people. I think it's pushing 30 people now have purchased tunes from Blessed Performance through that affiliate link, and only one person's had issues, so that's pretty good. And hopefully, Matt at Bless got back to him and revised that. Matt's a good dude. He's super busy. It's just him, and I think he does have like 1 or 2 people helping him, but he's doing his best, and generally speaking, people are very happy with him. So custom tunes will be your friend. Purchase that SCT though. I mean, that is an affiliate link I dropped for it. So just a heads up, I do get a little kickback for that. But I think until you are ready for custom tunes, the toe tune will do just fine. But custom tunes are kind of like a whole other game. Kill Devil Diesel Heads, great. KC Turbo, another great company. You'll definitely be happy. I do want to take a shout out to my turbo sponsor, Turbo Time USA. I'll put another link down here. And they also give us a coupon code for 5% off their performance turbos. That is an affiliate link, although it's did that highlight for you guys? It's not letting me click on it. Anyway, so they do give a discount code if you just want to check them out. Again, KC Turbo, excellent company. I have on occasion talked to Charlie. We're friends. He's a great guy. And he probably has more turbos out there than anybody else does. But Turbo Time USA does turn around and support the channel a lot through turbos, which when the turbo comes off my white truck, I'm actually going to ship it back to them. They're going to get me the current version of that turbo, the GXR series. So we'll keep the velocity port. We haven't really talked about the dual plane, the 11 versus the 7, the GXR 7 or GXR 11. We haven't really talked about that part of the turbo, so we will probably discuss that. I wonder if I can't get the old compressor wheel, though, from them when they do it, just because I think it'd be cool. Maybe do like a dumb giveaway or something. Or I could have a paperweight for my desk here, since I've been spending so much time at it lately staring at schoolwork crap. Anyway, but yeah, so turbo, there is going to be plans to basically, once the truck is apart and the turbo is off, for me to take that turbo, send it to Turbo Time, get another one back for review. So that is in the works. But Kill Devil Diesel Heads, 100%. They're releasing a new Icon series that's exclusively made in the USA. I got to tell you, I've been aware of that that's been a project that's years in the making. I probably first heard about that from him 2 years ago. We had a private conversation. I wasn't allowed to talk about it because there's so much that goes into it. But yeah, so he's been on that for a while. So I think he's talking about a midsummer release for those cylinder heads, which I think is super cool. Let's see here. 05, 13, yeah. I feel that pain. I wish I only had 13 in my white truck, and I'm about to spend more. It's so upsetting. One of these days, I'm going to sit down and figure out how much money I've spent on that darn truck. I love it, though. I don't think I'll just get buried in that truck, to be honest. I can't sell it. However, it's been better than paying $30K. Oh, man, I know. New trucks are crazy. That's part of why we just sold ours, or the black truck. I sold the black. I put 30,000 miles on that black truck, and I did fix everything. So I mean, I sold it in significantly better condition than I bought it. I put 30,000 miles on that thing and sold it for $500 less than I paid for it. So the truck market's crazy, and I don't want to get into it too much. We'll talk about it a little bit, but it definitely was just the right thing to do right now was to sell that truck. I do miss it. I never loved that truck, but I do miss it. I love the interior of that truck. I do miss the interior. The truck as a whole, I didn't love, but the interior, and it's nothing to do with the engine or powertrain. It was just kind of that truck was issues from the beginning, and don't even get me started. I can't. 70 to $90,000 for these new trucks is crazy. Like I like the Lariat package personally, but it's, man, they're just expensive. The one Ford dealer I go to, Hondrew Ford, that's where I buy a lot of parts. So I buy parts from them. I buy some parts from Greg at DNA, and then I buy some parts independently, depending on what it is and how quick I need it. But those are the three places I get parts from. And I was at Hondrew Ford like 2-3 months ago, and they had a not Raptor, Tremor package Lariat. First off, gorgeous looking truck. Oh, like $83,000 for a Lariat package Tremor. No, thank you. I would love to be successful enough to say that that's a good investment for me. Let's see here. Ethan, how you doing, brother? Can't stay long, gents. Have to go to the old lady. I can't say that on a live stream. Jay, you have fun with that, brother, though. I have an 03. If you figure no, Nick, it won't. I could cry. I have a rough estimate of what I'll have in it after this next rendition of nonsense. And it hurts a lot. 0360 address the EGR, we'll say. Benjamin. Ben, is your check engine light on? Because 03s don't always trigger a check engine light. Yeah, I'll probably at some point, guys, we have 11 people in here. We have 7 likes. So let's fix 12 people in here and 7 likes. Let's fix that. Everybody hit that like button. If you haven't already, we need to fix that. Nick, they do sound better than a new truck. And this is one thing that's upsetting. So full disclosure, KC Turbo and I occasionally do talk. I've not actually ever reviewed a product of them. But for the black truck, and I actually need to get back to them. For the black truck, they were actually going to send me one of their KC Whistler turbos out that make the 6.7 sound like a 6-liter. And I'm really bummed I wasn't able to do that. Just timing. At first we talked about maybe doing a review for the white truck, which could come back. But at this time, obviously, nothing's able to happen. But in the future, I'd like to work with them at Turbo Time USA. But I don't like this. Mongoose, what don't you like? But anyway, no. So I completely lost train of thought. Mongoose, what don't you like? Because that's what made me lose my train of thought. Is you? I read it in my head as if you were shouting. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, so in the future, Turbo Time USA is aware of it, guys. Like, I'm not doing anything behind their back. They've been super supportive of me. We did talk about it. We had a couple phone conferences together, the owners of Turbo Time and who I typically talk with. Have a good one, Jay. Take care, brother. KC Turbo for black truck. Nick, the black truck is officially gone. It is no longer in my possession. Some shady people from New York came and bought it. They were not happy with me. It was, man, selling trucks. I got to tell you, it's just the worst. I hate it. Guys, we're up to 16 people and only 12 likes. So there's at least 4 of you in here that need to hit that like button while we're going on. But no, so we were going to do a KC Turbo for it. Now, we were also going to turn around and later down the road do a turbo time turbo. Probably something. Oh, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. So honestly, I do plan to reach back out to KC once the white truck is back, and talk with them about reviewing a turbo. I want to review something very different than what's on the black truck. So I'd like to review like a stage 1 turbo, or something to that effect. I don't want to do something that's, excuse me, like the turbo I run from Turbo Time is more of like a street truck turbo, where you are pushing higher horsepower and you want to have a really fun truck. Not that those small turbos are fun too. I don't think people realize this because they light so fast. They make the truck a lot of fun to drive, especially when you have a cam and all the airflow mods we have on the white truck. Just an absolute blast to go drive. But they also have a limit in the upper end that kind of affects them as well. So there's some back and forth there, but I'd like to review something just very different from what I'm doing on the black truck now. I don't want to review a turbo from another company that's identical to what I do. Those wiring harnesses are expensive, aren't they? Guys, we're up to 19 people and still only 17 people. Who the heck left? Hit that like button, guys, if you're enjoying the live stream. We are going to start doing these more often again during my break from school. Nick, I did not use the new icon heads from Kill Devil Diesel. I was aware of their design, their R&D portion when it was happening, but I wasn't aware of like when they were actually coming. So I only found that out when the rest of you guys did. Jared from Kill Devil Diesel and I, we don't talk often, once a year, once every other year, we might have a conversation. I like him. He's a cool dude, and just knows a ton of stuff, but he's also super, super busy. So he can't talk to me every time I want to talk to him, but I don't reach out to him too often, but here and there I do. So goal for the white truck. All right. So goal for the white truck is to get it back as quick as possible. I need it back. I want it back. I need it back for so many reasons. Had too many issues with it. Just got Blessed tunes. How you feel about them? Knight, I like Blessed performance tunes. I haven't reviewed them for the 6.0 yet because my 6.0 is not here. But the 6 liter. So literally as soon as I get the phone call saying, hey, it's in the bottom end. As soon as I get that phone call, I am turning around and buying a short block. So I have two options here. One, I have two options that I've personally narrowed it down to. One is Kill Devil Diesel. Obviously, I love Kill Devil Diesel. I'm happy with them. Here's the caveat to going with Kill Devil Diesel. It is a long wait because they're so busy. Again, because they are kind of the premier 6 liter people. Ethan, I do too, because it would be much cheaper for me to get a phone call saying a cylinder head's jacked up. What do I want to do? Than the lower end. Now, the fortunate part is I've really, between working all those extra shifts and everything, I have been able to push money aside for it. So that's a good thing. But I would much rather spend a fraction of that money and be able to invest that money back into other content for you guys. But Knight, I have never been called that before. I don't know Ryan Martin. I hope he's a cool dude. But no, I've never been called that before. But yeah, so Knight, did you have a 6.7 Powerstroke or a 6.7 Cummins? So anyway, as soon as that happens, that's going to be one of the phone calls. I'm going to call Kill Devil and find out what their current lead time is. Last time I spoke to them for a short block, it was 12 weeks. My second phone call is going to be to Asheville Engines. Asheville Engines is probably, I know I talk about Kill Devil Diesel all the time, how much I like them, and I do mean all that. I think they do great work. The problem is they're so successful that it's led to some pretty crazy wait times. I mean, not that I think for what they do that's an excessive wait time, because they do a lot of custom stuff and they're doing things no one else is doing for the 6 liter right now. So it's hard to say for what the overall level of work they're doing that they're excessive wait times, because I don't think they are. But for me, I can't wait that long. Knight, whose tuning were you running on it? But anyway, I'm going to call Asheville Engines, going to be my second call. And they actually claim that they can normally have a short block out, shipped out within like 3-4 days. So that is going to probably be the route I go. Like I said, I'm going to call Kill Devil first. If they tell me it's 2-3 weeks, I'm willing to wait that time to have Kill Devil Diesel short block. But I think what's more likely is it'll probably be an Asheville engine. Now, short term is just to get the darn truck back. We're going to take the cylinder heads and have them checked out. UCF machine is near me. So I'm going to take the cylinder heads to him, have them gone through. I think they actually offer a relatively inexpensive porting job, so I'll probably have them ported as well. Excuse me. Now, I don't think, like in the new Icon series that he's releasing and on what they've done with a lot of the aluminum heads, that port work from Kill Devil is going to be better than what I'm going to have done. But UCF has a lot of experience doing this, a lot of success. So I feel very comfortable with them doing that work. On the old iron heads, like you can't get the cylinder heads I have from Kill Devil anymore because he just doesn't sell them. I think they've gone through like 2 changes since then. So you can't really get them. So I'm going to have UCF go through them, make sure that they're still good. Probably, depending on cost, it's not too crazy. We're going to have that going through. I am going to get all new rockers for it because I don't want to get this truck back together and have a bent and break a rocker again, because that sucked. Then you have to pull a stud out to get that piece out. No good. So we will be going with a new set of rockers on each side. Turbo went twice, 3 failing injectors, CP4 was coming apart. Yeah, that's if I had to, did you have one of the 11 through 14 6.7s? Because I know turbos on them were super common. Injectors weren't as common, but good, or they still definitely weren't as good. 15 got an upgrade, and I think again in 20 there was another upgrade to the injectors. The CP4 pump, yeah, that sucks. That's an issue. And that's an issue on the Duramax too, even more so on a Duramax than it is on the Powerstroke. But yeah, that stinks. That explains the turbo though. Common misconception, people think in 15 they made the CP4 pump better. It just flows more fuel. It's not actually better. It's just capable of more horsepower, which I guess in some sense is better. But as far as durability or reliability, nothing. No changes there. The best thing to do is make sure your factory lift pump is healthy. Make sure, I would definitely recommend one of the disaster kits. SPE has a nice one. Is it stainless diesel or stainless fuel, something like that? Kill Devil Diesel always has their products on there. They have another nice one. Those are the 2 I would recommend. They seem to have them be the most thought out for the disaster prevention kits. There's also the is it Exergy? There's a piece in there, I can't even think of what it's called right now, but it's a valve and they have like a better screen on it that prevents contaminating all the injectors. But if your CP4 pump is falling apart, it will wipe out injectors. Whew, that's a mouthful. Anyway, hey April, how are you doing? Thank you for checking out my live stream. I was told fuel kit was back ordered 6 to 8 weeks, no warranty coverage, would be around 10 to 12K out of pocket. Yeah, no, they are expensive. Try to think. You need a specialty tool to pull the injectors, I believe. Other than that, I think it's the only specialty tool you need, but I think you can get the full kit for around 3. Was told from dealer kit is 6 to 8, labor's 2 to 3. Yeah, it is a shame. And again, it's one of those things that the aftermarket is fixing. I would like to see Ford maybe use some of that to prevent that nonsense. Because when it goes out, guys using these trucks for work, and Duramax guys get a hit for this too. OJ, how you doing, brother? Um, they all know it's an issue, and it's part of the fuel that we use in America because it's not nearly the issue overseas as it is for the U.S. market, and that's because we have this ultra low sulfur diesel. Yay, EPA! Um, the 6.0 is much easier to work on, uh, and they do sound good. I kind of grew to like the sound of my slightly tampered with 6.7. Don't want to say the D word, but my tampered with 6.7. The sound kind of grew on me when I was selling it. So a dealer ended up buying my truck. They came down and bought it, and I can't even stand these people. But he took it for a drive around a parking lot, and he's like, "The turbo's failing." I'm like, "No, it's not." He's like, "It shouldn't make that noise." Every little excuse they could to try to get me to come down in cost. They claimed there was a Carfax recent accident on it in the Carfax. I'm like, nope. I've owned it for a year and a half, and that's not true. Yeah, they're dealerships, and they were from New Jersey. We all know what that means, New Jersey people. Anyway, no, I do like both trucks. The 11 through 14s, they did have more issues. They were still, for the most part, I know it probably doesn't feel like it right now because you had all the issues the 11 through 14s could have. No, I hear you. Ethan, yeah, I think they did. But honestly, I also don't Knight, other than you're good New Jersey people. I'll tell you that right now. I can tell. But 90% of your state does suck. Benjamin, do you have anything else done to your truck um, besides messing with your EGR cooler? So I'm thinking about trading in my 15 for a dually for no good reason at all. OJ, how about this? Now hear me out. You just give me your 15. I'm from South Jersey. We're different. You just give me your 15, and then you go turn around and buy a dually. Problem solved. Then this is an affiliate link. It's a 6. You can still give me the truck, but no, I would definitely get rid of it. Intake exhaust just bought a month ago with 154K. Ben, I would buy that tuner I just linked down there. It's an affiliate link. And then you can contact any of anyone doing tunes. You want to get a 7? The 7.3 is gasser is cool. As I said, I don't think it's called the Grille, but I knew what you meant. Anyway, Warren Diesel, Truck Source Diesel, Quick Tricks, Gearhead, Innovative Diesel off the top of my head, all are good tuners. I don't think you'll get any of them to necessarily do anything with your EGR, though. But the thing with that is your EGR doesn't really contribute to any. All right, I'm going to get some flack for this. One reason it's dumb to go crazy about deleting an EGR on a 6.0 is deleting it doesn't add any more power. It doesn't actually really make it any more efficient either, because your EGR is open only a fraction of the time. It's typically when you're asking the least amount from your engine that the EGR is actually open on them. Or what they do is that will at warm up when it's cold, the EGR opens. The 6.7 does the exact same thing. It'll open up to bring in warm air into your intake to heat the engine faster. And actually, that's one thing I noticed when I stopped running an EGR is that it took longer for my truck to warm up. First world problems, right? So that is one thing to consider. I don't really harp over it on a 6.0. Like I said, the big power robbers and overall efficiency issues are really come from the DPF systems. And I do think there's a better way for manufacturers to do it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there is something better they could be doing besides these ungodly expensive things that kill your fuel economy when they come on. It's just a giant pain. I want just EGR shut off. Don't want to waste my time. Yeah, no, it is hard because and here from the guys making these tunes is the EPA is coming down on them hard. Until the RPM Act passes, making it legal to sell tunes like that, a lot of it's gone pretty underground, to be honest. And it's people just trying to keep their bit. You know, it's how they put food on the table. I'm not saying you can't find stuff. I'm just saying it's become much harder. I know where some stuff is, but I can't really say it. But no, until the RPM Act can pass, which God knows when that'll be because Congress is too busy worried about other stuff and kind of rightfully so at the moment. But I do really want them to pass the RPM Act. I just think it'll be a while until it actually gets seen by them for them to do anything like that. Do write your congressman and let them know you want support for the RPM Act. Ugh, allergy season. I'm all congested. But no, what I am saying is, truthfully, in the scheme of things, it really isn't that big of a deal. Ethan, what should be a link in the... No, Ben, I mean, if they're going to replace it like that, that's a hard one to pass up. That is a hard one to pass up. Ethan, that's a good idea. I should definitely... Let me write myself a note. This is my last test I had to take. Or the scrap paper for my last test. It's weird going to school right now because everything's online. And I get proctored online for my test. It's just the whole thing. It's awful. RPM Act link. I like it. I'm going to start doing that. I need to revise the default setting for my upload and make sure I put it in like my top 5 videos that do the most views every month. Oh, man, who has the best custom tunes? That's a hard one to answer. HVAC and electrical, what's up, man? So best custom tunes. So I'm going to give you, in my experience, first off, I'm going to give like 3 different ones, depending on your driving style and what you like. So Windrunner Performance, when they were doing tunes, was hand downs my favorite to daily drive, and that's whose tow tune I ran when I was towing with my 6-liter. Loved it. Great, the best fuel economy any tune got me. And decals, right. We'll get to decals in a second. Best fuel economy I got, and great power. Like the transmission shift perfectly, no issues. It just was like a really polished, well-running truck. And tunes. Some tunes, while still running well, didn't run as nice. So Windrunner Performance got the big nod for me. He doesn't tune anymore, which is super sad because, again, my favorite. But Blessed Performance actually learned a lot of tuning from him. Now, he doesn't do everything exactly the way Nate at Windrunner did, but there are some similarities. And I liked his tunes on my 6.7. I do plan to run Blessed Performance on the 6-liter and do full review of all his stuff when that truck comes back. But right now, obviously, I can't do that. So Blessed Performance would be my go-to for just based on feedback I'm getting from people that are going. He also does sponsor us. He has an affiliate code for 10% off tuning. That's the 6.0 Bros that I just dropped there. So go check him out. Now that would be for daily driving and like towing use like that. Now my favorite to race with, now I've only raced with Innovative Diesel, and I loved their Ultimate X Tune for racing. It was super fun. I hated it for daily driving. It was my least favorite daily driving tune. I ran 4 different tunes from them. I just don't recommend them. And then Truck Source Diesel kind of fell in between those two. So these are really my top 3, depending on, again, what you're doing. Another good one to try is Warren Diesel is getting some great reviews. Excuse me, Warren Diesel's on my list to review when the white truck comes back, but anytime, man. Yeah, no, I definitely all these tunes act differently on each truck. So it's not like just because it did one thing on mine doesn't mean that's going to do another on yours. So I'm basing this off not just my data that I have from actually using it, but basically what other people have said as well, trying to tie it all together, so to speak. Man, I don't know, brother. I don't really get into the decals a whole lot, to be honest. What are things I can do / watch out for the truck to last, except for basic maintenance? First diesel I've bought, and I need it to last. Having first child in July. First, congratulations on having your first kid. That's awesome. Things to watch. I have a video. First things to do when you get a 6.0 Powerstroke. I forget the exact title, but it's something along those lines. And basically, the first thing to do is monitor the truck. Keep a good eye on your oil and coolant temps. Don't overthink the whole process, because that's kind of the issue. Is people overthink this whole thing. They buy a 6 liter. There's no issues, and the first thing people say is, "Oh, should I delete it? Should I stud it?" No, none of it. Again, what we just talked about with the EGR a little bit ago, I'm not even sold on the need to delete it. I'm personally advocate for addressing it. So whatever that may be, if you're doing off-road racing stuff, delete it. That's weight. It's weight, and it's something you don't need on there anyway. But I mean, if you can't delete it in your area, it's really not the end of the world, because it does so little, and it really doesn't affect overall efficiency of the truck. In colder climates, it helps warm up faster, so you're going to get better fuel economy because your truck actually warms up faster. So I'm not like die hard delete it. I'm not against it either. Personally, I don't think the government should get to tell me what to do with my stuff. That's just me. But without getting into all of that debate, so make sure your EGR is in good, healthy condition. So sometimes EGRs need replaced, however you want to do that. Making sure your oil and coolant temps are within check. So if your oil and coolant temps are out of whack, then you need to also replace your EGR cooler. Because what has happened is the coolant flow has been starved at the cooler, which is why they break open, pushing coolant into your engine, which will either hydrolock your engine or cause you to blowhead gaskets, or both at the same time, which would suck. Those are probably my 2 biggest ones. Check making sure your charging system on the truck is good, making sure your batteries are always good. They will kill a FICM. If you have weak batteries, it will kill your FICM. Again, like a lot of 6 liter issues came from lack of understanding. Ethan, thank you, brother. I appreciate you finding that and putting a link. So Ethan just dropped the video talking about what I would do first with the 6.0, and I talk a lot about this stuff in there, but definitely check that out after the live stream. But fuel pressure is another one. Now you do need to get a gauge to monitor that. That'll keep your injectors happy. You want to check dynamic fuel pressure, meaning take your truck for a drive. Go on like a 5-mile drive, get on the highway and literally floor it. Do a 1/4 mile floor safely. Don't do this recklessly. If you have the space, do it. And basically what I'm saying is get your truck up there pretty quick and check your fuel pressure that whole time. If it dips to 45 or less, I honestly at 45, I'm uncomfortable. I want to see more in the 50s at a low. But under 45 PSI of fuel pressure is when injector damage starts to cause or happen. So if you're getting in that threshold, mid 40s or less, then you need a fuel pump that'll save your injectors. Arch oil for oil additive. Huge fan of it. It'll help keep your injectors happy as well. Also, the truck as a whole, making sure every bearings and everything are well lubricated. I love arch oil, and I highly, highly recommend it. Daniel, I've never run Looney Tune. I hear great things about it, though. What is the high for oil temp for a 6.0? Wesley, a lot of people get weird about 6.0 oil temps. And truthfully, they should. If you're working your truck hard, I've seen 250. I've seen 250-degree oil temp before, pulling some crazy hills going up to Buffalo area, New York, with 13,000. My camper is about 13,000, or at least all the weight that I have loaded between that and in the bed of the truck. I'm around 13,000 pounds typically when I go camping. And I've seen 250 as soon as I got to the top of that hill. But like, that was in a couple miles going from like 400-500 foot elevation to like 1,400-1,700 foot elevation. So a pretty decent climb in a pretty short time span. So I wouldn't really worry much about it. I will say this: whenever I do see oil temps like that, I do change the oil pretty shortly after. So I would finish that trip and I probably would change the oil after. Unless I just did an oil change, then what I would do is I would change the oil in half the time I normally would. So I normally do 5,000-mile oil intervals on my 6-liter. I would change it at 2,500 instead. Let's see here. The weld option is a solid one. Freeze plugs are our friends, both ends of that particular piece of equipment, Ethan. Maybe a tuner so I can monitor everything. Only thing I'll be doing is mostly daily, every other day or week, and pulling a car trailer once a month or so. Yeah, Ben, the truck should last a long time for you. That SCT will monitor what you need for the most part. The other thing you can do is, I think I talked about that in the video about Forescan and Torque Pro are great apps that require very little, just a cheap OBD2 Bluetooth. Let me find one of them here and get a link. They're super, and actually Forescan is a great, really powerful piece of software for your phone because it lets you do so much. And here's the OBD2 piece I run. And then it's like a $5 app. I have them both downloaded. I've used them both. I do need to do full reviews of them when the truck's back, but I haven't gotten to it. Affiliate. That's the OBD2 Bluetooth sensor I use on my truck. Let's see how to bulletproof a Dana 60 and 80. Man, I don't know. How much power are you making? Let me ask that. What is your setup that you're concerned? Because I mean, they're pretty stout trucks, but I mean, if you're worried about breaking those things, I imagine you're probably pretty hard on the truck. You're probably making some pretty decent power because they really stand up to a fair amount of abuse. I am by no means nice to my trucks, and my 03 or 04 250. I don't have any. In fact, everything on the rear axle is original. The front axle is on like its third set of wheel bearings at 200,000 miles. So, what else? Let me rephrase that. It's on its second set. I need to put the third on when it comes back. Yeah, when that truck comes back, it's going to get a whole new front end and everything. And then, what problems are you having with it specifically? Because I would imagine U-joints would be the first thing to really be an issue on them. I would make sure you're using genuine Dana parts. The Dana Spicer U-joints are pretty stout. I would imagine for a Dana 80 too. Been curious, proper maintenance, how many miles? It depends what you call miles. So let's not talk about needing to stud your truck for a second. Let's talk lower end, because I think that's what people reference most. A 7.3 made such little power, you don't need to stud them. They're probably not blowing head gaskets. It can happen, but it's pretty uncommon on a 7.3. But like all the bearings and stuff, yeah, a 7.3 is probably about a 500,000-mile engine. The 6.0, it's hard because it's a much higher performing engine power wise. I know there's probably some 7.3 guys that'll hear that and freak out. But I'm going to talk about the bad here in a second. I would say, as far as, if you do proper maintenance, there's a good chance your 6.0, the bottom end of your 6-liter, will go, I'm going to say at a minimum 350 to 450,000 miles. Caveat here. The cam profile is incredibly hard on your lifters because of the EGR flow. Excuse me. So the factory cam, the lobes on it, whatever, I know there's fancy terms for it, but basically they're very steep and pretty abrupt changes, and they're just hard on lifters. So you might kill a lifter before then, and that'll cause you some big issues. But generally speaking, if you don't have that, your bottom end, I would say, is good for 350 to 450,000 miles. Now, I'm not saying that, your ring, your piston rings aren't going to start to wear, that you're not going to, you're going to need a rebuild by that point, most likely, especially if you've tuned this thing. And, if you've spent any time on a race tune and been horsing around, you're going to be pretty worn out by that. But if you're using proper maintenance and stuff, your fuel's good, you're not super hard on it, you can get some good miles out of them. Now, odds of you making it there without needing to stud your truck, that's a little different. That's unlikely. So that's why I say, like, the bottom end versus the top end, like, I went to 180, 200,000 miles before I needed to do cylinder heads. I never blew gaskets, actually. What happened is I cracked a cylinder head, which is common on the 6.0s. Let's see. Ring and Pinion, wasn't sure if you had thoughts outside of OEM. Not really, man, but I'm going to be honest. I don't know axles super well. So it's kind of outside of what I really know. So I'm just not going to be super helpful there. I am sorry that I suck, but that's definitely something that you'll need to have somebody else kind of. I'd go to someone that specializes in axles and talk to them, or I'd go to these, I'd look at people doing extreme stuff with their trucks. I bet if I had to guess, KC Turbo probably be a good one. He races his truck. See, it could be just, I don't know if you're doing the work yourself or if a shop's doing it. It could be incorrect installation. I don't know that stuff super well. I do know it all needs to be pretty precise. Had a complete rebuild at 200. Bulletproof bed ram for T6. Sounds like your truck's been well taken care of. What's funny is Warren Diesel actually hates T6. And I have a theory behind this. So Warren Diesel doesn't like T6 oil used. What I think the reason for that is they say that leaves like a film. They say it's just not as good. I think the issue is a lot of people, I think, running T6 extend their oil intervals out much longer than they should. And I think that's why Warren has seen increased failures, because there's a lot of guys that have run T6 for a long time without any issue. But I think there's a select group of people that are like, oh, I'm running this oil, I don't have to replace it. No, I don't think that's the case. I think they need to 6-liter, keep your oil intervals at 5,000 miles. Maybe 6 if it's really light use and easy highway driving, but how many people are really doing that? Steven, down 10% pressure in cylinder 2. Have some back pressure to the coolant, so I need to put extra coolant. No white smoke, but number 2, fires after it warms up. Uh, I wonder if you don't have a ring that's wearing out, and as it warms up, when you get that expansion of everything, because as you know, things tend to, we're talking very insignificant amount, but at very insignificant amounts. But as things heat up, they become larger. So I wonder if, as all that happens, it doesn't reseal up a little bit, or you could have the start of a cracked cylinder head as well. Rotella foams up on you? Huh. I wonder, have you ever had an oil analysis done? The pushing coolant thing, yeah, I want to say you could have. Do you have fuel in your coolant? I've never heard of Rotella foaming up. I've also never heard of an oil foaming up, one quality oil, I should say, foaming up, and then Motorcraft not. That's different. Yeah, that seems weird. Because Rotella is like, whether you like it or not, Rotella is a good oil overall. It's not bad stuff. It's just whether it's preferred or not, I think, is the real debate in the 6 liter, whether Rotella is truly superior or not. I don't want to get into that debate because I don't know enough about it. Oh, Night Fox, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support as well. This channel doesn't happen without you guys supporting me, watching, buying through affiliates and sponsors, buying merch and stuff like that. But while we're at it, let's get. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream. Let's get a coupon code going over on the merch store here for everybody. Promotions. What do we have going? Let's get free shipping going, shall we? How do I make this happen? All right, we're going to get free shipping going. We're going to use the code 6.0 Bros again. Add discount. All right, guys, so since this is our first live stream in forever, over on the merch store, Teespring, there is a link, or check the merch shelf below. 6.0 Bros for free shipping on your orders here. Let's type this out so everybody sees it. This is kind of the go-to affiliate code for everything. It has some high. Steven, do you know what? I mean, even so, a high-performance tune shouldn't cause foaming of your oil. So I'm really curious about that and what could be going on that's causing that. It doesn't make sense that it should do it with Motorcraft as well. Now, if you were running some like Chinese special oil, I would understand that you bought for like $1 for $1 a quart or something. I'd be like, all right, I understand why. But you shouldn't be having issues like that's a weird issue I've never seen. Anyway, guys, so link to Teespring or use the merch store, 6.0 Bros, free shipping on your orders. Go check that out. We haven't done anything like that in a while. So, figured this would be my truck didn't like that T6 1540 in winter, but now that it's hot out, seems all right. I've always, in my 6-liter, ran the 1540. I know some guys run different weights and stuff. I want to say somebody ran, is there a 15, is it 1030 or 1530? Who knows, or maybe there's both. The 6.7s take a different oil, though. I think they're 1030. Yeah, Steven, I think you I think you have a cylinder head issue, or you could have an EGR issue. The pushing coolant and burning off coolant. I ran 1030 in my 6.7, but I've heard of guys running it. I'm pretty certain I've heard of guys running in the 6-liter. Me personally, I run 1540, and that's just what I do. in the cold, an hour or two before you leave, if you have the option, plug it in if you hate the cold starts, and they do suck. I'm not saying they don't. I will say when my 6 liter had everything redone, it had this, like, I couldn't even, I hate cold start videos, but every year guys want them. So every now and then I'll do one or two. It wasn't fun for it because it ran so smooth. So it was kind of weird, but everything was going over, fresh injectors, fresh turbo, springs, new bearings throughout, push the whole nine. But I remember being very impressed with how smooth it ran in the wintertime, even when we were down in the single digits. Yeah, Steven, your truck is kind of sounds like it's out there. Best starter, man. I feel like in the last 2 years, starters like these high torque starters have become like really, really popular. Rock on them all for things being improved. We put a 6.4 starter in Josh's truck. Runs like a top, man. I'd buy a 6.4 starter that's still running. You can get them super cheap from junkyards and stuff, and there's a ton of guys that have and love them. If you want something new with a warranty, honestly, I'd probably just get a new 6.4 starter. You can get a 6.7 starter. I don't think there's really any point to it. I think the 6.4 is plenty. But on the 6.7 starter, I believe you have to drill one of the holes out to accept a larger bolt because it's one of them smaller on the 6.7, I believe. But honestly, if you're looking just to quick throw something in there, a 6.4 starter from a junkyard that's still running, perfect. You'll love it. We just bought a 6.4 starter from Advanced Auto. You can tell it definitely works a little better. But if I could, yeah, I would definitely go to a junkyard. I do plan to do a video on that. Add a sleeve to make a bolt work, which sounds like a pain. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. I knew there was something with that 6.7. I don't think it's worth it. And quite honestly, yeah, there are just starters that'll bolt right up. I personally would just get a 6.4 starter and call it a day. I do plan to, when the truck's back, do a 6.4 starter on it. Ethan, do you have the XDP starter and do you like it? Blue spring kit upgrade. So in the video I talk about it. Now it will up your fuel pressure. So that's what they're doing is they found the original spring in the fuel bowl was weak or wasn't strong enough to maintain pressure over time. The replacement spring helps maintain that pressure. But again, if you have a failing pump, you have a failing pump. One person has said this numerous. Oh, I have the blue spring. The blue spring doesn't keep the pump healthy. So as long as your pump is healthy, the blue spring, great mod. I run a blue spring. I will say this: go get a Ford one. Don't get these cheap ones because they're inconsistent. They're all over the place. I've seen people end up at 80 psi pressure. I've seen people have less than they had before. It's just there's inconsistent. The Ford one is a little expensive. I think I have a link to a Ford one in that video, what to do first, but spend a little bit extra money and get one that's Ford. It basically, as long as your pump's healthy, it'll bring your fuel pressure up where it's supposed to be. I need a tuner for my 6.7. What do you guys recommend right now? That's hard, man. Finding tunes for 6.7s isn't easy. Unfortunately, there isn't much I can help with there. Once the RPM Act passes, I can be of big help there. But right now, I can't. People aren't doing it because EPA is coming and shutting them down. So it's hard. They're out there. You can find them, but it has become difficult. So coolant filters. Ethan, are you talking about the blue spring mod there? Coolant filters for the 6 liter. So first I want to say it's not going to solve every problem. I do think they're beneficial, but they're not going to solve everything. So just understand that. They take a very small portion of coolant and filter. Now, I will say IPR Research has a very nice one. No, no, oh, starters, Ethan. Okay. Have one of them. It's great. Still run the stock. Okay, I see what you're saying. That's cool. I like XDP overall. Um, as long as you know what you're going to buy, I like them. But Night Fox, I'll talk about that in a second. So honestly, I run the XDP coolant filter. I like it. The ball valves have died once. I would probably get heavier. I would probably go get heavier duty ones. Josh runs a no-name brand one. It leaked a lot, and he used this gasket maker on there, and that sealed it up good. But that was a giant pain in his butt. I would just go with the XDP one. Let me see what pops up when I quick look this up. 6.0 Powerstroke coolant filter kit. Here we go. The Mishimoto one looked nice too. Oh, Mishimoto looks good. Sinister Diesel ought to be ashamed of themselves. $250. Even Mishimoto's not charging that. Let me get you a link here to the Mishimoto one. I think this is every bit as good as anyone else out there, personally. And I'm pretty hard on knocking Mishimoto for certain things. There is a link that's an affiliate link to the Mishimoto one. That's good. It's in the same. It's right there. It's actually, I think, a little cheaper than the XDP one. You know, I have that blue spring mod with the pretty blue paint. Ethan, don't even start with me over that nonsense. Don't even start. You know what I'm talking about with your blue nonsense. What was that song from like the early '90s? Like, I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. Yeah, no, they're super easy to install. The other one, IPR Research has a really nice one that filters a lot more coolant. I do think that's a better option. It is a little more involved, so bear that in mind. But I would check them out and see what you think there, because they have some cool ones too. I have no affiliation with them. I've never run one, but it seems like a pretty sound idea. I do think about them. Thank you, Ethan. I'm glad to hear that. Did everybody see that hideous they have like the ugliest intake elbow for 6 liters out there. That's all welded. Nick, don't even. You knock it off with this intercooler. I feel like, yep, Night Fox. That's the one I'm talking about. Yes, the octagon one. It looks awful. I feel like Sinister Diesel should just send me the intercooler for a review so I can determine if it does anything and either stop making fun of them or continue making fun of them, one or the other. They do have like an affiliate program of some sort. And that's the one thing. I would like to try some of their stuff. I really would. I think their coolant filter or their coolant reservoir tank looks awesome. I love they have that AR-15 exhaust tip. A little tacky, but funny. Their turbos, unless they stopped selling nonsense at over. Oh, no, they didn't. I just pulled up their web. I don't even know why I go on this website. It upsets me every day. Like, at least this, now they have billet wheels that they're actually putting in these things. There was somebody that spent 1 year, 24,000 mile warranty. That's garbage. What's my, let's look up Turbo Time's warranty while we're on the topic, because I believe it to be longer. Click on this turbo. I'm so excited for my next turbo from them. So what is their warranty? I want to say it's 1 year and limited mile. Why did I think it was 2? Oh, well. Anyway, I digress slightly. I'm totally a Sinister Diesel representative. I'll send you 5 of everything. I really wish you were a Sinister Diesel sales rep. Who changed their name? Because that's funny. No, but I do think they have a few things that are kind of cool looking that I do think I would like to try. I know I'm hard on them. I will admit that, but I do think some of their stuff is salty on the price for what it is. But it would be cool to try some of their stuff and see if it's how it is and if I'd like it or not. Where are their parts? Just show me your parts, guys. Come on, stop being complicated. Do they have injectors with blue tops on it? Because that's what it looked like. Oh, I need to get off their website. 5 of everything is like $1 million. 5 of everything is more than $1 million. They do have a lot of stuff on their website. I do know that. But that intercooler, I'd like to try the intercooler. I'd like to compare it to a few intercoolers to be honest. 50 state legal. That's kind of cool. They have that on their website. I just don't think all their stuff is bad. It's just sorting out what I think is bad and good. Their headers are garbage. I do know that. They warp all the time. And I think they're overpriced. BD Diesel. Get the BD Diesel ones and call it a day. Their pipes I've heard good stuff about. I like the adjustable billet for the blue spring, the fuel housing, that spring. I like that they have the adjustable thing. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't hate all of their stuff, but I hate a lot of it. Oh, do I hate a lot of it. What else do they have here? Then I'm going to get back to just you guys and stop focusing on this. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff over there. I think you're paying more for the name Sinister than you are the parts on with their worth compared to everyone else's. I have their coolant and bypass oil filter. It works good, but definitely not cheap. No, it's definitely salty. I do think I personally don't want to run a coolant filter and an oil bypass. I'm not that there's any harm in running them, but I do think it's a nice piece. They're one of the few people I think has a nice piece for that. But yeah, it's crazy expensive. Now that one I kind of understand a little bit because I don't think everyone has such a nice kit, but at the same time, come on with the price. That freaking intercooler is ridiculous. Their turbos, I get downright upset about their turbos. Do you know how many people that have contacted me about their turbos and only to find out that essentially they have a factory turbo or basically a Power Max that they paid a ton of money for. They have two different Mishimoto intercoolers on here that are the same code, $300 difference. And they did it twice. But then there's their intercooler. $2,100, almost $2,200 for this thing. That thing, I can't even. I'm so upset someone brought that intercooler up. Coolant filter down to $191. I think that's garbage too. The market value of that price is about $150 for a quality one. I'm excluding the Chinese no quality control ones. I'm talking about just brand names that you can actually hold accountable for what you're getting. It's about $150. Why are they 40 over that? Who has the best injectors for money and warranty when coming from stock injector and turbo truck? Durf. We're going to call you Durf. Are you asking about turbos as well and what injector would pair well with a factory turbo? So I run Warren Diesel premium injectors. So when talking about these, like, are you okay? So two questions here. Are you looking to upgrade your turbo and are you looking to upgrade your injectors? Or are you looking for basically factory performance and just replacing what you have? When you answer that, I'll go more into detail. I'll just start talking about it in the time being. I really should have taken some allergy medicine. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, injectors. So if you want to upgrade injectors, I would go Warren Diesel or it starts with an H. I can't even think of it right now. Hold on, let me pull it up because I know who sells them. Let me quick again. So while I'm looking this up, I would definitely just go with their premium. Either one of these companies, go with their premium injectors only. Don't cheap out and get the cheaper ones. Get a premium remand. That way, you know you're getting the best of what you're paying for, and then you only have to do the job once instead of probably twice. So that's first and foremost. That is my recommendation. Let's see here. After that, depending on what you want to do, really depends on what I would recommend. Because if you're looking to stay pretty factory, do you really need to even go to a larger injector? If you do go to one, I would recommend, where the heck is this darn injector? Holders, there we go. Holders injectors. I'd recommend their premiums. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. What do the stages mean? All right, stage 1 is 155. I imagine stage 2 is probably 175 and so on. I just picked up all the aluminum radiators from Bulletproof Diesel. Can't wait to install. It'll be a nice. Hey, Night Fox, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Exactly. We support South Jersey, not those weirdos up north. But thanks for tuning in, man. Thank you for your support. Have a good one. Anyway, so injectors. I'm a big fan of big body, small nozzle. So if you want to, I would recommend one of two injectors for you, depending on what your goals are. And then I'd recommend one of two turbos, again, depending on what your goals are. So the first injector I'd recommend is a 175 stock nozzle. The stock nozzle won't quite empty a 175 bodied injector, but it's too small of a gain, in my opinion, to go to a 30% nozzle. Save yourself the money because you're also saying you want to be pretty mild here. If you want more power, looking for improved truck along the way. So Durf, one thing I want to say, if you're looking to stay factory power levels, just get factory injectors. Now, Warren or Holders, again, I would get one of their I would get one of their premium injectors. Alliant has really good injectors as well. Motorcraft too. Motorcraft probably has one of the better warranties, actually, now that I think about it. But if you're looking to upgrade in size, I would definitely go with Warren or Holder and get one of their premiums. Full Force Diesel, that's what we run in the 7.3. They've been good injectors in my dad's truck. Full Force Diesel isn't as competitive in the 6-liter world as they were in the 7.3-liter world. They're definitely not as like on the up and up about some stuff. But and by up and up, I don't mean they do shady business practices. As I mean they're not really pushing forward in that market. So Holder or Warren would be my go-to. Their premiums. For most people, I would go 175 stock. I think for the vast majority of people, that will make you very happy. You'll have a truck capable of over 500 horsepower with the right turbo, and if you can maintain fuel pressure, and if your high pressure oil pump is functioning correctly, which most people are for that size injector, you don't need a ton of extra fuel for that or oil pressure to fire that injector at that particular amount of fuel. But The turbo to pair for that. Now I do have a turbo sponsor, Turbo Time USA. With that one, you can kind of go one of two ways. You can go with their stage 1.5, which is a 61 millimeter compressor wheel with a 10 blade turbine wheel. So you'll get great top end performance and great low and mid range performance because it's small turbo. It's going to light super quick. So that'd be more of your towing setup. Now that is going to limit your power. You might be able to get 500 out of that, but I'm going to say probably expect more in like the 490-ish range with that injector because it is going to be choking out at the top. Now, and that'll be a great turbo if you tow it all. So that'd be a phenomenal towing setup, to be honest. The next turbo you could consider would be their stage 2, their 64 millimeter compressor wheel. Again, with that same 10 blade turbine wheel would be a great towing setup as well. Little more lag, little less low end performance, but good mid range and phenomenal top end performance from that turbo as well. Just depending on how frequently you tow. If you're another thing to take into account is if you have big, like if you have 35, 37-inch tires, I'd go with the 61. It'll light faster because those big tires also push you out of your efficiency range at highway speeds. You got to kind of go faster to stay in the turbo a little bit. The next thing to consider, my next setup, and this would be definitely if you can still tow max weight, but you definitely have to consider some things. And now you're talking making some pretty decent power. It'd be a 205/30 injector. This is what's going to be run next in my truck, is a 205/30. That will give you, again, the ability to tune down. You can pull fuel and it'll run really clean. You can make a 205/30 run just like a 175/30 or a 155/30. That nozzle is really what dictates how you get it tuned. You can get a little less idle quality. Might feel like it's running a little rougher, even though it's not. It's just kind of a byproduct of larger nozzles. 30% still run really smooth, so shouldn't be too bad, but just something to consider. The other thing is now, with that injector, you're now capable of about 600 horsepower. So a lot more power than what you are with that 175. That 175 stock's going to top out around 520. Is about the most you're going to get out of that nozzle, that injector setup. Like I said, you can push closer into the mid 500s if you go with the nozzle, but I really think you're better served going to, because that smaller nozzle is going to help it run really, really clean. So you'll get less black smoke. It'll still blow plenty of fuel to soda if you want to do that, but I'm against it. At the track's one thing, or in a parking lot, goofing around with buddies, whatever, but like on the road, I don't like it. So when you keep your body big and the nozzle small, you'll still get, so that 205/30 is still going to run super clean, keep your exhaust temps down as well, another good thing. And now at that size injector, though, you're kind of mandated to be in that stage 2, or you could bump up to their GXR series from Turbo Time USA. 6.0 Bros coupon code gets you 5% off if you are looking to buy a turbo here from them. And I wouldn't have a shop do that. Do the turbo yourself. I just put a really detailed video pulling a turbo and what to do. I wouldn't pay a shop for that because they're going to charge you probably 2 hours in labor time. But I will get down to these questions in a minute once I finish this whole thought here. So with the 205/30 injector, you still can tow max weight. If you go with the stage 2 turbo, it's still going to tow really, really well. I towed with a Power Max, which is a 63.5 millimeter compressor wheel. The stage 2 is a 64 millimeter compressor wheel from Turbo Time. So very similar size turbos. And the Turbo Time one is going to spool faster than the Power Max one, just because there's more time in designing it to make it run right. Ethan, I agree. That stage 2 setup with 190/30s, or my preferred one would be a 205/30, still going to tow like a dream. But the other one, you could go up to their GXR series. Now, again, you're talking I think it's like 65 or 65.6, something like that. Now you're really pushing out of towing heavy because it's going to be more work to do it. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not saying you can't. I just don't have any data to support that. I would still stick with the 64 millimeter turbo. In that case, I think you'd be really happy. Again, if you do choose to buy from TurboTime, make sure to save yourself money. Save yourself some money. Use our coupon code for that 5% off. Nick, good point. I tried kind of touching on that. I don't know if I effectively did that. But yeah, you could get a 255 bodied injector with a stock nozzle, and you can tune it to run just like a stock injector. The nozzle is what dictates that part. Durf, does that help? Does that answer your question then, man? 06. Wanting to get a little less turbo lag. What do you recommend? My truck is basic stock and I don't really care about a ton of horsepower. So the first thing I would do, Smalls, Hammer Down Motorsports. What's up, brother? Guys, go check out good friend of mine, Hammer Down. Go check his channel out. Steve, I gotta come see you soon. It's been too long. I think we have beer to drink together. And two, no, the truck's not running. I just need the shop to tear it apart so I can buy whatever I need to buy, and that'll make me happy. I do plan to go try to see them this week and kind of get a little better timeline of when it's going to happen. So hopefully that's soon. Small. So if you don't really care about a ton of horsepower, you want less lag, just get custom tunes. I'll drop another affiliate link to a programmer. Honestly, you probably don't even need custom tunes. Probably just getting this programmer will do it for you. And just running can tunes will get rid of lag. But if you want your truck to run really, really well, get some custom tunes. Oh, dude, I got hey, if you need a hand, Steve, I'll give you a call this week. If you need a hand, I might be able to stop over and help out with putting that insulation up. There's an affiliate link to the tuner, man. I would buy that and just run like the toe tune. It'll probably be enough. But if you want better tuning that'll have less lag, custom tunes from there would be the way to go. I would go with the first recommendation would be Blessed Performance. Use code 6.0. 6.0 Bros for 10% off tuning from Blessed Performance. It is an affiliate code. Just full transparency, I get a kickback for that. The other companies I'm not affiliated with, Warren Diesel, Truck Source Diesel would be my next two to go to. Just purchased a Turbo Time Stage 1.5 Chevy next week. Being stocked with that turbo, what mods would you do? So I would custom tune it, and that's really probably it. I wouldn't really mess with much more than that. The 61 millimeter turbo is really meant to take full effect of the stock injectors. You can bump up a little bit. It does, like if you want to go to a 175 stock, that turbo would still do really well, but it wouldn't completely clean up an injector that size, but it would still run super well. It's really meant for towing as well. So I wouldn't do much up. I'm a big fan of airflow mods that don't put added strain on the system. So an ODOG intake, I don't know if I can still get links to that. That kind of wasn't on here. This whole EPA crap has made certain parts kind of hard to get. And Amazon's really harped down on a lot of things if it didn't have a carb. If it didn't have a carb number for good old California. See if I can get you guys links to anything. No, I cannot. So the other thing I would do, do you have a cold air intake on it yet? Because that'd be the other thing. Steve, sounds good. I'll definitely hit you up and we'll talk later this week. And we'll get something together, man. So, not bulletproof. BD diesel exhaust manifolds would be a good one. I also like their Y pipe setup for the 6-liter. Let's see if that stuff I can normally find pretty good. So those would all be stuff that wouldn't add strain to it. An intercooler, you could upgrade the intercooler as well. This would be the time I can't find their darn Y pipe. Here's the exhaust manifolds. I like these a lot. These are super nice. So running these exhaust manifolds would help. Getting a better intercooler would help. The ODOG intake would be huge. Spelled affiliate link so many times, I'm just jacking up the spelling completely now at this point. So ODOG intake, a cold air intake, BD exhaust manifolds, their Y pipe would be a good one, and intercooler and an exhaust. Those would all be in my top list of things to do. That would help help the mods, help with that turbo, help it breathe and move air in and out more efficiently. It is really simple. Engines are basically big air pumps. Get air in easier, get it out easier. You make the whole system work more efficiently, especially provided you're not changing like massive stuff. Obviously, if you ported the heads out too large, you would lose air swirl. That gets into crap I don't really understand, but it's kind of complicated, that part. So as long as you're not changing that part of it, but you're letting it breathe easier without making excessively large area volumes of space it needs to fill, then you're going to see more efficiency, more power, better fuel economy out of it. So those would be things I would do there. Let's see here. Coming down here, did you ever drain and fill your original trans? If yes, do you ever have any issues with it? I had it done once, drained, replaced the temp sensor because it went bad, put a new filter in, and then I just did a refill, no issues with that. And that's actually what I recommend people do, is do a drain and fill, not a flush. Flushing your transmission, a lot of times people do have issues with. How safe are the can tunes? They're pretty safe. They're definitely not the greatest tunes in the world, but they're relatively safe. I would recommend, if you're looking for better performance than that, then custom tuning is really where it's at. Custom tuning is like a whole different world compared to the can tunes. The can tunes are okay. Custom tuning is definitely where it's at. I agree. I wouldn't recommend running the canned race tune. I would definitely get a custom tune for that. They were stock, but came with 3-year warranty. Those any good? I don't know that I'd recommend O'Reilly injectors unless I knew like they were from a good company. I think Ford injectors are 2 years, 3 years. I forget, but they'll also pay part of labor. That is one thing. They will pay part of labor to be replaced. So that's kind of nice. Now, if you go to a shop and have them done, then of course, shop installed them. They recommended the part. They should warranty them through whatever that time is. And I would double check with that and get that in writing. I've never used Bully Dog tuners. Unless a lot of them now you can get custom tunes from, because Bully Dog was bought out by the same company that owns SCT, so there's some interchangeable software there. So I mean, if you can get them, I would double check if you are looking at buying one used or something. If you're buying new, just buy SCT and call it a day. I've put that link in like 4 times. If you need the link to the SCT again, let me know. I'll happily get it for you. But it's definitely, if you're buying new, get SCT and call it a day. If you found a deal on a used one, just make sure whoever you're programming with can actually tune for it. You will probably be more limited. I don't think it's as easy to do. but there are guys out there using it. My preference, though, still hands down SCT. I have heard of guys coming from only you can prevent forest fires. Lola, that's a great piece of advice. I want everyone to realize that only we can prevent forest fires. So anyway, I have heard people say that the Bully Dog ability for custom tunes isn't quite as nice as the SCT is. I have no actual data myself to back that up with, but I would definitely SCT over Bully Dog all day long. Well, Lila, we gotta spread a good message here. So, preventing forest fires, I think, is a pretty solid one. The other thing is TurboTime sells an air intake system now. I wonder if my code works on that. Let's find out. Go to checkout. This is something I plan to do a review on when... Yeah, my coupon code works on the air intake too. So with coupon code, it's $256.50 for their intake. It's under their accessories. If anybody is wondering, there's that. So no gender reveals in the forest. Correct. I hear that's a bad idea. I'm not a professional on it, but I hear it doesn't go well. I do enjoy the nonsense of this channel. I'm trying to find something here. Yeah, so I think that's cool though. Once the 6 liter is back, we are going to install the TurboTime. We are going to install the TurboTime air intake on it and do a review of that compared to the SCT. Your truck's going to have its gender reveal soon. So guys, how's everybody liking the live stream? It has been forever. Be cool and stay in school. I'm actually in school. That's part of why it's been so long since I've done a live stream, because I'm working on my RN. I dislike school strongly, but it's important. I need to finish. Probably be forever. One has to go. Mohawks, mullets, man buns. Man buns need to go immediately. Like now. And maybe that's because I'm jealous because I have this receding hairline. I don't know. Maybe if I didn't, maybe I'd be more into man buns. I think they're kind of dumb. But I could still do a mohawk and I can still do a mullet. So, I mean, I don't hate on them as hard. I have no interest in doing either of them. Man buns will go extinct. Hey, if you guys haven't already, go check out your 6.0 Bro merch. This is our SOB shirt. We have our Making 6.0s Great Again. There's SOB with Making 6.0s Great Again on the back. There's just the old school 6.0 Bro logo that Josh originally designed. Code 6.0 Bros for free shipping. No, we're not. The rat tail needs to stay dead. That was awful. There's the coupon code for over at Teespring, guys. It should be on the merch shelf. Click on there, get your 6.0 Bro merch. Also, guys, when we around the time we stopped, it's been like 1,500 subscribers since we stopped doing live streams regularly. So first, I'm sorry. Second, we still need to do giveaways. That is still going to happen. I'm going to release a video soon. It's going to be a short video, and it's going to be introducing memberships to the channel and what we're going to do with those things. So stay tuned for that. Channel membership is something we're going to have. I've talked with vendors. We're going to have special coupon codes for additional money off from Blessed Performance, additional money off from TurboTime USA. I'm going to have a permanent discount code for Lol, I refuse to play that game. I feel like this. I saw this episode. I think this was in one of the Saw movies. I'm pretty certain. Uh, get rid of sports cars or sport or muscle cars. I just refuse. I know I saw this and it didn't end well in the Saw It movie either for the person playing that game. But so with the channel membership, one of the things we're gonna have is it's gonna have a special discount codes for everything I can offer. So Blessed Performance is a sponsor. I spoke with him. They'll have a special code to get instead of 10% off, 15% off there. Turbo Time USA, we're working on that. That'll have a special code, and that'll be 7.5% off turbos. There's going to be another one for more time, just like special members only live streams where basically I'll give you guys more inside detail. There'll be videos that don't get released to everybody. That'll be members only. So there will be perks to that. And there'll be videos that's just more behind the scenes crap. It's stuff that doesn't make it to the final cut of my videos, or it might be me just like prepping for things. So that video will be coming soon, releasing channel memberships. And again, all that revenue will go back into the channel to keep making you guys content. So I hope they never make electric muscle cars. Too late, Jay, because isn't there like a Mustang E or something like that? Mach E that's electric. The old Knight Rider show. Some people say Tesla are muscle cars on steroids, though. I will say I've seen some of those Teslas, and they're fast. It is crazy. Mach E. It looks cool. I don't want it, but it looks cool. I'll give them that. Outside of that, I refuse to support that nonsense in any way, shape, or form. Oh, good. The analytics on Teespring is actually working again because it wasn't for like the longest time. No, Lola, it's a sad day when that happens. Hey, man, how have you been? Welcome to the first live stream back. Since I know you're a regular, and I know you've probably been wondering what the heck I've been doing, I did have to take a break for school and work. I am in school. I'm off school right now for a while, thank God. I really don't enjoy school, but working on my RN, need to get it done. Anyway, though, so we are going to pick back up where we left off. I was just telling them about a video coming out for memberships and what all the different levels will be and what the perks of each. There's 3 levels to membership and what the perks for each one will be. I think they will be worth it for some of you guys. Some of it maybe not, but I think it'll be good, and I think some of you guys will benefit. There'll be special codes for added discounts for tuning. There'll be special codes for added discounts for turbos. The Teespring account, there'll always be a coupon code there as well. And it'll always be for more than what I release to the public for members. Members will always get a better deal than what is released out in public. So keep that in mind for what that's worth. And yeah, we are going to get back to the giveaways that we were going to do. I know I had stopped right around there, but school just got to be too much. I had a lot going on and needed to take a little bit of a step back. The other thing is we sold the black truck, so that's gone. I think those are about the highlights of everything that has gone in 30 seconds. I don't know if you guys hear how congested I am right now, just in this area. It feels terrible. But so what have you guys thought? First off, if you guys haven't already, hit the like button. I don't know how many people haven't hit it. We're at 32 likes. We're only at 12 people in here, so but if you haven't hit the like button, smash that. For our first live stream back, though, I was pretty happy. At one point, we were up to 20 people in here. Sure, not nearly the crowd that we used to pretty much get up to like 40 all the time. Question about the 03 tune. Oh, I forgot about that. Stanger, I'll talk about that in just a second after I answer this. There's a lot of differences between 03 engines and the rest of them. The biggest thing is the 03 had a more aggressive cam profile, so it was capable of making it. It pushed less EGR flow. Lola, thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Hope you like it. Lola J. Are you a guy or a girl? Because J is a dude's name, but Lola's definitely a chick name. I'm just curious. I really don't care. At the end of the day, it's just funny. I've had guys come like join on here on their girlfriend's accounts and their kids' accounts and talk for the longest time, and I'm like, this guy's talking like a guy, but his name is definitely that of a girl. Merle. Out each their own. Rock on. But anyway, the 03s, the cam profile is really what the big difference was. Injectors are the same. People will tell you they're not, but they are. What was different was the hold down between years. The thread pitch is the same, but the top part, which torque spit it takes, is different. And obviously the oil rails that feed the injectors were different. So a lot of differences there, but all in all, I'm a girl. Just curious. I really don't care. It's funny. Like some of the subscribers that come through, when they'll be like guys that don't have an account and they'll be on their wives or their girlfriends' accounts. And then just some of the stuff they say, I'm like, this is not a girl talking. So it's just funny. I just kind of curious. Eli, how you doing, brother? You're just in time to get the update on the white 6.0 because I was missing that after I finished answering this. So in short, OJ, no, the tune itself does not necessarily make the earlier trucks make more power. In fact, the later year trucks were rated at 10, I believe it was 10 more foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, it'd be hard to pick which one. I heard a song about Lola back in the day. So yeah, 03s, really the one thing is really just the cam profile. That was actually before you had like Colt cams making stuff, River City Diesel, and who else does? I feel like everybody has their own. Kill Devil Diesel has one, Asheville, Chode Engineering, all of them have their own cams. One like guys that were hot rodding these trucks, one of the first things they actually did was they started putting 03 cams in their trucks. Was like the first one because it was preferred. Now I think it's a very minimal difference, but it was a difference. So there's that. Well, Lola, I'm glad to have you here and supporting the channel. Thank you. According to that song, I'm a dude. Where is that other? So the white truck. So we did talk about it a little bit earlier, but I will happily talk about it again. So the official thing is, amen, brother. God love Hulk Hogan. So the white truck. Man in real life. I'll let that go. So anyway, the white truck. So I'm just waiting for them to tear it apart. That's really all I need to happen. I'm ready to buy I'm basically prepared for the worst. I'm expecting to need a short block. I hope that's not the case. Ideally, what I'd like to do in about a year and a half, 2 years is actually sell whatever engine's in the white truck and buy what I want. But what I think is going to happen is I'm pretty certain I'm going to need to buy a short block. I'm going to take the Kill Devil Diesel heads have them gone through by UCF machine. They're by us. They're pretty big in 6-liter heads. So I want to have them go through them. I believe they offer a pretty reasonable port job. So I want to have them ported as well at the same time. It's kind of like the last airflow mod I don't have. You know, we have the cam, we have BD exhaust manifolds, we have the O-Dog intake, a bigger intercooler pipes, turbo exhaust, the whole nine. But the cylinder head's the restriction. So, that sparks a whole debate that I don't completely understand, because you have to kind of get into like the swirl of the air going in, which actually how it affects the fuel being injected. I don't understand all that. What I do know, I've learned from Kill Devil Diesel and watching some of his stuff that he's talked about, but it's far more complicated than I have time to try to understand at this time in my life. But UCF has a great reputation for what they're doing, so I would like to have them go through and port the heads. I'm expecting the heads to be good, so that's first and foremost. They are the Kill Devil Diesel O-ring heads. They're the old style that was still made by Promax. They're no longer made by Promax. They haven't been for a while at all, and now they're going to be made in the U.S. OJ, I'll answer that in just a minute. Omit jockstrap. So, what I'm looking at engine-wise, I have it between Kill Devil Diesel and Asheville engines for that. I would prefer to have a Kill Devil Diesel engine, but at the same time, I don't want to wait the crazy times because they've become so successful. It's a good thing. The juice is loose. Which is a good thing for Kill Devil, and I'm glad for them because I do like Jared, the owner of Kill Devil Diesel. But at the same time, at this point in time, I can't afford to wait that long. We're driving my old man 7.3 because I sold the black truck because the truck market's just freaking crazy. But Asheville Engine claims to be able to get engines out pretty quick. I think they claim like within 4 days from ordering, they can have your engine out and being shipped. And that's just what I want right now. So I'm not trying to wait forever on machine time and all this stuff. We're just trying to get it out. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Now, I will say this. I am keeping with an aftermarket cam. Asheville offers a cam. They also have a balancing. I'll have the engine balanced completely. And that'll be it for upgrades, I think. Because I have the O-ringed heads. We'll go have them going through. You must have quit. Now, so hopefully I find something soon. That's all I can say. I hope to find out information soon. As soon as the heads are pulled, I do plan to take them to the machine shop for that stuff. And we'll go from there. Exhaust. So my recommendation would be, so here's one thing, is most of these exhaust systems for these trucks are super, super similar. So similar. I can't stress that enough. I do think for people using it in work applications and towing, a 3.5 inch. So factory downpipe is actually 3 inches. A lot of people think it's 3.5. I was one of them until we pulled Josh's off, and no, it's 3 inches. It's super small. So I would go to a 3.5 inch downpipe. That'll give you really good spool, and then go to a 4 inch out the back. And I would run the muffler. Now, here's something else to help really quiet it down. You could stop hammer time. You could run 2 mufflers on it. Just cut into another piece of the section and put another muffler, and it's just pipe. You just cut and pop it in. No big deal. Or you could get a straight pipe setup and then buy one of like the big 54-inch mufflers and put it up there and really quiet the truck down a fair amount while still getting all the added benefits of a free-flowing exhaust. So either I would run 2 of the regular mufflers in there or just run 1, but 3.5 inch down to 4 inch out the back would be my recommendation. Give you great flow, give you still good spool up. Like when I went to a full 4 inch setup, I could tell in the bottom end I lost a little bit off the line. It definitely had a little lag to it. Now I do feel I picked it up in the top half of, or the top portion of my RPMs, but down low I could feel it, and most of that's coming from the downpipe. So the 3.5 inch downpipe, it'll still spool super quick and give you lots of flow to make the truck run very efficiently. The only time I currently recommend a full 4-inch down exhaust system, now granted, Josh and I are both running full 4-inch setups, are for guys that are looking for higher horsepower. Then I recommend it. That and fitting a 4-inch up there, it does kind of suck. Like, we've done it on my truck, we've done it on Josh's truck, so it can be done. It's not that terrible, but a 3.5-inch will fit a little nicer as well. I feel like there's another question in here. Kill Devil diesel heads, aluminum or iron heads? Which one do you prefer? So I have OJ. Definitely go with the 3.5-inch then. And even if you were to upgrade turbos, like go to a larger turbo down the road, that 3.5-inch will keep your spool time pretty quick as well. Aluminum or iron? So I run iron heads. I run his old iron heads in my truck. The aluminum ones, it depends. If you can afford the aluminum ones, which they're not bad, they're really relatively reasonably priced. I think the iron heads are like $2,300, although the new ones made in America, I believe, are going to be a little more expensive. Made in America, that'll happen. But I do think you'll get much higher quality out of them. So for the aluminum ones, though, they naturally flow more from factory. It's just part of the casting of those. It's a good question. I'm going to attempt to answer it. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to try. So anyway, the aluminum ones flow more from the casting. So I think it's worth the money. I think it's like $900 more. I think they're $3,200 for the aluminum ones. You do get that benefit. I don't think there's much to them being lighter for most people. If you're racing, yes, a lighter head is gonna, where you're trying to cut every little bit of weight you can, aluminum wins. But performance, they flow more air. It's worth it in that sense if you can afford it. Would I break my bank for that little bit of additional flow? No. If I couldn't afford it, I'd go with iron heads. And that's coming from somebody that couldn't. I went with iron heads. The aluminum heads, I believe, were out at the time. Were they? I can't remember. If they were, though, I can say at the time I couldn't afford it. I wouldn't have bought them, even knowing what I know now. So don't break the bank for them, but if you can swing it, it's worth it. I would personally rather have a cam over the added flow of the aluminum heads. So the question / statement is, I think you said you're studying to be an RN, which has more complex mechanics / engineering, trucks or the human body. It's an interesting one. So Lola, since I know you're new here, I am an LPN, so practically a nurse. That's an inside joke if you don't know. Anyway, so I do have a pretty decent amount of understanding, and I spend a lot of time studying fitness and such. So I would say overall the human body does, because we understand everything about vehicles. We don't understand everything about the human body. Especially like if you want to talk about the neurological system. We really don't understand everything there. Do we have, we're still learning stuff all the time. We have good trucks evolve faster. Ain't that the truth? So yeah, I think that's a decent way. That, and we can fix vehicles. We can't always fix the human body. Yeah, our RN definitely opens up the door to be in more administrative roles and such. That's for sure. I'm actually about to transition to a hospital for the first time in my career, so excited and nervous for that. So it's kind of a whole new world, but there. So we'll see. Anyway, it's been a weird year plus to be a nurse. That's for sure. Schaefer's 1540 partial synthetic, Schaefer's 540 full synthetic in the southern. I personally like to stick to 1540 because it's what I would stick with 1540 just because I know it's what the truck is. Remission for MS, the neurological system. It really is. Well, I mean that we don't understand why that happens. We know, And depending on what form of MS you have, we know more or less about it. But there's somebody I know that was diagnosed with MS and then has since been re-diagnosed with something completely different, and his MS diagnosis was taken away. It's a very weird thing, but yeah, I've heard of that. So crazy stuff in the body. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's man, 12 years. That's got to be amazing. Talk about probably feeling like you have a new second lease on life. That's for sure. Yeah, stuff like that. That's definitely one of those things that scares me because I'm very active outside of actually not everybody knows I have a second YouTube channel. I don't post as much there, but it's about fitness, coming back from injuries I've had. Diagnoses like that are probably one of my biggest fears out there, especially because we don't understand them. You know, we understand parts of them. We have better treatment than we used to, but at the end of the day, like there's forms of it we just don't know what to do and how to properly treat or stop. So it is crazy. Human body definitely more complicated. I can get you a link for that. What year, J-Dub, what year truck do you have? And I can get you a link. I do love the Raptor style grill. We're going to have to paint mine when I get it back because it has some sun damage. But it will definitely be, excuse me. It'll definitely look cool once it's painted gloss black. I'm going to stick with the white and black theme I got going on that truck. I definitely like that look. Don't tell a Jeep person they technically have a truck. I feel like Jeeps are an SUV. Even that goofy like Gladiator Jeep pickup, that's an SUV in my book. SUVs, I think, are kind of different. Stanger, what do you keep getting different advice on this? So SUVs, I consider a truck if they have if they're like a truck frame. I call them a truck. If they're more like a minivan thing, then I call them SUVs. An Excursion is definitely a truck. I'm pretty certain it's built on the Super Duty frame. I don't think they have their own frame. I believe it's built on the Super Duty frame. 06, sorry, J-Dub, I didn't realize you sent your year. Let's find your grill. And there we are. That is an affiliate link, man, just as a heads up, but it's to Amazon. That's what I would do. Stanger, I'm not seeing it here. I'm doing black paint on the inside of the grill, just white surround. That looks cool. I can see why it's a percussion instrument, though. But yeah, similar. Lola, I will say, I feel like there's one caveat to that, though, with the SUV thing, is because some of the smaller ones definitely resend it, Stanger. Like, or like the Ford Ranger, I'm pretty certain isn't on a truck frame anymore. but it's definitely a truck. It's plenty off-road capable. So I do think there's some gray area, but like the Ford Explorer, I consider them a crossover SUV now. I don't consider them a truck or an SUV. But when they originally came out, I would call them a truck. I had two Explorers. I called them trucks all the time. People used to get irritated because they're like, it's an SUV. It's the same thing back then. Now it's not, though. Why did this? Yeah, they did blur out the Ford in the picture. I think they had to because I'm pretty certain Ford was coming after them hard for those grills when they started getting popular. There for a while, you couldn't find the letters at all. Brentley, I believe it's your sending unit that's in the tank. You'd have to drop your tank to get to it. I got to go to steel wheels. The corrosion on my aluminum ones keeps having to be scrubbed off to stop small air leaks. Yeah, no, if you have like I had to do that on one of mine on one of my original factory wheels. I ended up getting my first set of aftermarket wheels. Which I got them for like $600. They were cool too. EKO wheels. They were a budget wheel, but I got a lot of compliments on those things. Let's see if they have them. They have them on Amazon. Look at that. TKO 18 by 9. Eight by. I would look up some wheels on Amazon because there are some you can get that are actually like you could be in about 600, 650 bucks and have a nice set of wheels. Okay, let's see here. Towing 15,000 pounds with tuner, looking to get a KC stage 1. Should I have my heads O-ringed? Stanger, in my opinion, yeah. I think if you're gonna do the work, get your heads O-ringed. It's just worth the money. It's not all that much. Again, preferably to get your cylinder heads as reliable as possible. I do recommend Kill Devil Diesel, or at least going to like UCF sells a nice set of heads. I'd get them O-ringed, but having the valve seat machined out anew and having actual valve seats pressed in because they hardened the gray iron that the factory head was called, which is why they crack into your the water passageways, causing big issues down the road. So something to consider if you can swing it. KC Stage 1, great turbo. I do always recommend Turbo Time USA. Check them out. 6.0 Bros for 5% off their Stage 1, or Stage 1.5, they call it now. They have, which they use the 10-blade wheel out of the gate, which I prefer, especially in turbo that small, because you're not gaining all that much faster spool up from the 13-blade turbine wheel, but you are gaining a fair amount more flow to keep your exhaust temps down. But yeah, definitely get your heads O-ringed. And consider those valve seats. That's definitely a big deal. You might be lucky and your heads might go forever, but a lot of guys crack heads, and that's a bad time to have to. It's the job all over again if a head cracks. Fun fact, the first motor truck was built in 1896 by German automotive pioneer. 4 horsepower. That's crazy. Do you have the stock wheels from the black truck? I sold them, Ethan, a while ago. I don't have them. I really did like the way my platinum wheels I put on there look too. I'm actually that's probably the part I'm most bummed about is losing the platinum wheels. Granted, I love the fuels on my white truck. Like I don't want them for that, but at some point I want to do. I do plan to get back into 6.7s at some point after the 6.0 is up and running, and things with like life as a whole. I just have a lot going on right now, so it's kind of hard to do all those things. But I do plan to get back into them, and I do want to do the platinum wheels again. Truck, motorcycle, taxi covered a lot of ground. I'm thinking, do they have anything common? I had a set of stock 6.0 colors. OJ, send me a picture of that. I bet that does look good. Did you already send me a picture of that? I can't remember. Best cold air intake. J-Dub, don't get me started on Sinister Diesel. Cold air intake. I love S&B, AFE. Also, my turbo sponsor, Turbo Time USA, has a cold air intake setup I recommend. And with that, if you use my coupon code 6.0 Bros, there's a link in the description. It is an affiliate code. It'll get you 5% off the intake. It comes like $257 or something like that from Turbo Time USA. But those are the 3 intakes I recommend. 4. No Limit Fab also has a really nice one as well. I guess I could get you. Let's see if there's. A lot of this stuff has gotten hard to get your hands on Amazon because of just everything with COVID. Cold air intake. I will say, like, the real cheap jobs on eBay and Amazon, I don't recommend at all. Now, granted, I will say the Turbo Time USA one does look similar, but the filter is very high quality, and that's the important part, making sure you have a high quality filter. Here's an AFE one that I would definitely recommend. This is an affiliate link as well. That's one I would recommend running. See if I can find the S&B. The S&B's got really hard to find. And it looks like they still are kind of hard to find. But yeah, don't go for the real cheap budget ones on Amazon and stuff because you don't want, they're low quality filters. That's for a 6.7. Don't want to send that. Is AFE really not? Yeah, I can't. AFE is the only one I can find I would recommend on there. Yeah, I don't recommend Sinister Diesel turbos. I think they're overpriced for what you're getting, and a lot of times you're just getting the same thing with different price points. Go Turbo Time USA, my sponsor, 6.0 Bros for 5% off. I'm not affiliated with KC Turbo. I am friends with Charlie a little bit. The owner of KC, I recommend them as well. They're doing a great job. I wouldn't go with them. There's Turbo Labs America. That guy's a giant. That's just a crapshoot. Any of you guys that are like been with the channel for a while know why I feel that way. Regulated Return XCP, or do you recommend another one? Wow, that's a messed up name. Anyway, yeah, not discreet. Is it strictly diesel? Hold on, let me find it. Driven diesel. That's what I'm thinking of. Driven diesel is the regulated return I recommend for the 6.0. Lola, I'm loving all the random facts about life. Keep them coming. Seriously, I don't mean that sarcastically. I'm being honest. I do like it. The Model TT. 06 owned it 11 years, bulletproof first year, including air to oil cooler, new stock cylinder heads, SCT tuner, in race mode permanently. I beat it tough. Yeah, they're definitely great trucks. Yeah, I thought so, OJ. Send it to me again, though, because I want to see it again. Tim, thanks, man. Glad to be back. It's definitely been a while. I do plan to really get on these regularly. My big goal is to, part of why I had to was school. I got behind, and I need to kind of really grind some of that out. So school starts back up in 3 weeks. I plan to stay ahead of school this time so I can keep doing these live streams. Because I did miss doing these. We are going to pick back up with giveaways and stuff. Once we get our audience back that used to come to all of these, we're going to get back on that stuff and take off the for 10,000 subscriber stuff that we were, trying to do that got pushed off. We're still going to do those giveaways. Blue Gloves, thanks, man. Hey, I know I give all Cummins owners a pretty hard time, but at the end of the day, like I love diesel trucks. So hey, whatever your brand is, come hang out with us. I definitely love I love the whole the diesel community. I can appreciate just about anything. So glad to have you, man. Thanks for the support. Seriously, it means a lot to me, especially when you're watching stuff that doesn't even pertain to your particular truck. I think that's cool. How many miles you'll think you get out of stock 6.0 daily? No towing, racing, or crazy driving with excellent maintenance. So I kind of talked about this earlier. Man, I'm getting behind. I got to get my butt moving on these comments. I talked about this earlier. So excluding the potential for cylinder heads, because it's kind of, Lord knows, there's trucks that cracked them or needed replaced at 40,000 miles. There's trucks that go 300, 400, 500,000 miles and don't need it. With regular maintenance, I think you can expect 350 to 450,000 miles out of the bottom end of one of these trucks. That is meticulous maintenance. I will say this: the caveat to that is you could ruin a lifter because the cam profile is pretty aggressive, and not aggressive for making power, but aggressive for EGR to encourage EGR flow. Beats up lifters. That's kind of like the one area that's like it's crapshoot. But all in all, I think with perfect maintenance, yeah, I think you could get that out of the engine itself. Doesn't mean you won't need to replace things along the way, but I do think it's possible. And there's guys that have done it, and there are guys that have done more. But maintenance needs to be meticulous. I did not realize that most fire trucks have between 450 and 600 horsepower. That's freaking cool. Afterbirth, no problem, man. What tuner do you recommend? My truck's bulletproof, looking to get a tuner. Also, thanks for answering my first question. Brentley, no problem. We're going to post, man, we are setting a record for posting SCT tuners today. SCT tuner all the way, man. I'm going to send you a link for the tuner from Amazon. This is an affiliate link. This is what I would recommend here. And then custom tunes. I am affiliated with Blessed Performance. He sponsors the channel. Code 6.0 Bros. We'll put this down here again. For 10% off tuning. Other companies I'm not affiliated with, Warren Diesel and Truck Source Diesel, are probably, I think those three are probably like some of the best doing it right now. So that's my recommendation. I have to go. Nick, thanks for if you're still in here, man. Thanks. Great to be back. Great talking with you. Appreciate your support, brother. Torque is the ability to do work. Horsepower is how fast it can do it. Yes, I have no objection there. There are currently 6 electric pickup trucks on the horizon in the U.S. Tesla. 65 and $80,000 is crazy. At 39,000, yeah, the Cybertruck actually is the cheapest, which is kind of surprising. I hate the way it looks. I really do. What brand of oil cooler do you recommend looking at the bulletproof diesel setup? So, personally, I don't care for the air to oil cooler setup that they put out in front of the truck. The relocation kit's cool-ish. I think it just doesn't fit in where they want it with the intercooler pipe there. Josh has it in his truck. I don't really care for the way it looks. But that's an option. Honestly, flush the crap out of your cooling system. Put your put a new OEM oil cooler in there and call it a day, is my opinion. Get a little coolant filter to help keep stuff out. It's not perfect. It filters a very small portion, but it does help a little bit. I think the whole oil cooler thing is super overplayed. Personally, like, maintain the cooling system is the big setup there. Flush crap out of your cooling system. Use distilled water the last several times you do it, and then throw cat coolant in there and just call it a day. And yeah, OEM oil cooler. That's all I've ever run. I've never had real issues. I replaced one just to replace one once because I'm an idiot. Actually, I did that twice. The first time I wasn't sure of the health of it, and I just wanted to make sure it was done, so I did it. The second time, I was in there and was like, might as well do it. It's only a little more money. And then that one actually came messed up. That sucked. Spaceship on crack. I agree. It is just the worst looking thing. Yep, I think that's the best advice I can give anybody looking to replace their setup is to make sure your cooling system is first off maintained, flush the crap out of it, and then put another OEM one back in there and call it a day. They work. They're good. It's some people. I really feel that is just super overplayed, personally speaking. I think it's Evans waterless coolant. I think when my 6.0 is back, I think I'm going to try that just to see. And if I had to guess, I'm not going to be able to tell any bit of a difference. Here's the thing with Ford Gold coolant. It's not bad coolant. It doesn't last long. It's garbage as far as that goes. But if you do, like, if I was going to run Ford Gold yearly, I would flush it, refill, because it doesn't last. So I would probably flush it. So I'd probably drain it. I'd probably do 1 or 2 distilled flushes where basically I would do this in the summertime first, so I didn't have to worry about my block freezing. But I'd fill with water. I would drive around for a day or two. I'd dump it out. I'd fill it back up. I'd get it to operating temp again, take it on the highway, really get into it so the thermostat opens up. I'd flush it, or I'd drain it again, and then I'd fill with 50-50 mix. Dress, what's RMI 25? I'm not familiar with that. I'll agree it might be overplayed, but I really don't want to crack my mind. I don't blame you for that, man. Not at all. And if you're not having issues, like I said, I would probably, if you have Ford Gold in it, then I would definitely make sure to get all of it out. It'll take like 7+ flushes. So if you're going to do that, set a weekend aside for this nonsense because it's a pain in the butt. But basically, drain it. I would just use water from your house to fill it back up. It's probably best to pull the thermostat out, the spring part out, pull that out so it's just always open so it gets the whole system. But the best thing to do would be to pull the 2 drain plugs on each. There's 1 drain plug on each side of the block. Put them back in, fill up with water, drive around, pull them again. And then from there, you do like 2 or 3 more flushes with just water. Again, thermostat should be out to make it easier you'll get flow through the whole system. And then I would switch to CAT ELC coolant. That's what I've run. Like I said, I think I'm going to try this Evans waterless coolant when I do it. If you're at 188, That's considered operating temp. You're good to go, man. Don't worry. That's what mine runs. I think operating temp's technically 190, but even with a brand new thermostat, I've never, unless I'm driving on the highway, I've never been able to like consistently hit over 188. Guys, also, if you weren't here earlier, to the Teespring store, code 6.0 Bros for free shipping is the coupon code right now. Probably do that for a week or two, then take it down for a little bit. But just to kind of, as a we're back to live streams, I figured I'd throw that out there for everybody. Well, guys, I think that's about it for the live stream. We'll close this up at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Low cost effective safeguard against cooling system. Oh, that's cool. Ethan, true, but thermostats in a 6-liter, that's pretty rare. I've never actually even heard of it in a 6.0. National Ugly Truck Day. Typically, a 6.0 thermostat wears out and tends to run cool. I went through one thermostat, and I think when the truck was apart, I put another one in just because. Oh yeah, I definitely I will flush with tap water, but only for like that day. Then I go back to then I make sure I put the proper stuff in. Huh. I didn't know. That stuff sounds pretty cool. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, that's just cool. I like that. There's a cool fun fact for everybody. So guys, get your last questions in here because we are gonna call it a day here in just a little bit. I've never run. I'm trying to think. So I stay away from it. I stay away from Ford Gold because I do tend to look for an ELC rated. So I have run Rotella. Is it just ELC or was it nitrite? I forget which one I ran, but it was CAT approved. So I did run that. That was much cheaper than CAT. It was hard to find though. I forget where I found it, but I was in a pinch. That's a long story. But there's a CAT dealer right close to where I work. It's like 10 minutes away from where I work without traffic. So I head over there. It's right down the road from the shop that has my truck. So it's just easy to get. Like I said, I do plan to try this Evans stuff, which I should probably make sure I buy extra in case I need it, since that stuff will probably be pretty hard to find in the world. So we'll see. So guys, all 9 of you left. If you guys haven't, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we can get over 40 likes before we close this. I did not know that about UPS trucks. That is a fun fact. That's such a random fact, but I love it. All right, there's 8 of you in here. Somebody has to hit the like button. Give me one more like, guys, so we can hit at least 40. But anyway, I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. It was great to come back to doing live streams. It's been quite a while, and I definitely plan to thank you for whoever hit that like button. I do plan to get back to doing these weekly again. I'm not sure of the exact day. That'll probably vary. I am starting a new job here on the 17th. This is my last full week at my current job, although I'll still be PRN, so I'll still technically be employed. So I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with live streams, but We're definitely going to try to continue to do them, especially all summer. Lola, thank you. I appreciate it. Dress, you're welcome. Thank you for your support. Lola, thank you. I do try. And hopefully as I start doing these again, they get big. We used to get, like when I was doing them every week, we used to get up to like 40, 50 people. I think at one point we even hit 60 something. So they used to get pretty big when I was doing them regularly. So I'm hoping to get back to that. And they are a good time. Wesley, no problem. Look for it. We are going to be back to weekly soon. Again, I'm not sure the day, but I will post them as soon as I find out when I'm doing them. Thank you guys all for everything and all the support you guys provide me. Everybody have a good night, and I'll see you next week.